Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Candy Coated Secrets Talk Show. Make sure you give me a heart and a thumbs up when you get here. If you are watching the show after it's over, where you see up here in this corner and you don't see it say live anymore and the button's not red, make sure you type in replay. We're going to get into some things. How are y'all doing? Another week, another dollar, okay? We are halfway through to the weekend. I know I'm super excited. Ooh, look at that. I know I'm super excited about that. How has everybody been? I'm doing my Sherry thing. You do your Sherry thing. I'm not going to keep y'all too long tonight. We're going to get into some things. I've seen a lot of different things like floating around online, which also even in the group, and what's going to contribute to the message for today, okay? So like I said, when you get in here, give me a heart and a thumbs up when you get in here so I know that you're here with me. Hey, Pebbles girl, how are you? We got to link up, Miss Ma'am. Just so I can be back working it out in the gym with you. But yeah, so we got to get into some things tonight. I'm not going to keep you long. I want to just get into and talk about how, you weren't born for average or to be average. Hey, Benita. And just how it just shouldn't be accepted. But if that's something that you want to accept for yourself, cool. By all means, whatever makes you happy, makes you happy. Sorry, y'all, my puppy. No. Sorry, y'all. Hold on one second, because my puppy is about to chew up my stuff, y'all. He just had a birthday. Hold on, I'll be right back. No, that's no. You done already destroyed it. Lord. But yeah, so a little intermission. I am back. I kind of miss having those little commercials. Those little intermissions. Oh, hey, Benita. Yes, you are on time today. Yes. I definitely need to get the puppy out of the studio. But he's here with me today. So, a lot of things that I wanted to get into was the fact that you are not average. You were not born average. You were not meant to be average. But I seen this thing, too, where I guess this lady named is Ebony or whatever the case may be. And, baby, the people are upset. The people are upset that she does not want certain things for her life or whatever the case may be, right? So, this is where this is coming from. So I'm glad, I'm happy. Give me a thumbs up when you get here, right? So, you know what I mean? It seems like the world is in an uproar because she said that she wouldn't date a bus driver, but she would date the owner of the bus. Yes, she said, oh, the bus driver comment. Yes, that one. Yes, I seen that right before I was about to come on, and I was like, oh my God, that is just going to help me drive my message home tonight, okay? Because of the simple fact, I'm over here trying to do my Sherry thing. Because the simple fact that, I think the reason why so many, well, wait, before I get to that, hold on. Y'all tell me, what do you think, contributes to the fact that people don't believe that or feel that they deserve more? Like everybody is just average. People feel like they should just be average, whether it comes from being at an average job, being in an average relationship, being in an average marriage. Like, where do y'all think that comes from? Where do y'all think that comes from? And then after I do my little Sherry thing, oh shoot. Oh, I had a meeting that I missed today. Dang. Sorry, y'all. Look, I'm getting distracted. I had a meeting that I missed. Oh my gosh, I had a meeting that I missed. All right. Anyway, y'all get to see what goes on with me. Why people settle? Okay, so you're saying why people settle? Let's see. Self-doubt, negative self-talk. Yeah, and I think too, like I said, y'all share the show for me tonight. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. No, I'm no longer distracted. We got here. Angelic said a low sense of self. Yes, and I think a lot of the other things too, I think all those things contribute to it as well. But I also think that not a lot of people have seen it. Like a lot of people haven't seen people who, have boundaries and stick to their boundaries, have rules for their self, do the self-care, put their foot down, strive for excellence, strive for more and want more. But I felt like, y'all know I'm always over, one of my coworkers, he'd be like, girl, you always in the shade room. I be seeing you comment on everything. And I was like, yeah, because it was just, for me, it was just so sad to see that, her overall message, within her overall message, all everybody was stuck on is the fact that she said she wouldn't want to be with a bus driver. Now, she's not the average woman. I guess she was like a news reporter, an attorney, an attorney. She's an executive, a lot of things, right? And so people are like, are y'all also not, seeing that part? Y'all are missing that part of it too. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think that people can date people that are, average. I guess that's the word. Because I feel like her response was more triggering because a lot of people, like y'all said in the comments, is a lot of people that are really, really settling. Nobody is really, being bold enough to go out here and go after what they want. If the relationship is not working, you're looking at everything else that's in the relationship to say, hey, I want to stay in this relationship, right? If the marriage isn't working, it's like, okay, I'm going to stay in this marriage because we signed up till death do us part, even though it's God daggone death do us part while we're in this marriage. The friendships, your friendship is not a two-way street. It's a one-way street friendship. Even with family, your job, you hate. People get up every day and go to a job that they hate. People get up every day and go to a job that they hate and complain about it when you could just quit. When you could just quit and you could just leave. And I know, listen, we got to see it in order to believe it. That's just how we operate, right? But, I know you're like, well, you can't do that. You can't do that. I am a living witness. I'm a living witness. Y'all remember one time I used to be a professional job applicant. You start to stress me out. You start to get on my nerves, baby. I quit without a plan. And I remember my life coach used to tell me all the time, like, can you start quitting with a plan? Can you start quitting with a plan? You know what I mean? So that's what I began to do, because it's like you have to choose and protect your peace at all times, right? People get upset. Hey, Daryl. People get upset because of what people want for their lives. Like, so many people get upset about individuals that have nothing to do with them and what they want for themselves and for their life, right? So I didn't think that, for y'all who like to go back in the day, and I ain't going to be on here long, for y'all that like to go back in the day, because I know I have some that look at it overall. But if you look at it as a whole, right, we as a black people have always just been given the bare minimum, and we accept it, right? Which on a subconscious level, makes you feel like you have to just be average to do anything. As long as it's good enough. Some people want relationships. Well, as long as I got a relationship, they don't care if the relationship going to hell in a handbasket. As long as they got a piece of a man, it's better than no man at all, or having a woman. Because some people have good women and some people have good men. But, y'all know how I feel about the saying, nobody's perfect. I hate that saying. I feel like that is also a limiting saying that adds to a lot of the issues and contributes to some of the lack thereof, and add to the averageness that's out here, because people are constantly making excuses for their limitations. And, we have to just do better, because, right, if God said that he can give you and you will be given the desires of your heart, right? This is where I want to kind of bring up the contradiction. Y'all keeping up? Give me a heart and a thumbs up. Y'all keeping up? She said, let's see. She said, I am not an emotional decision maker. I love my peace. Exactly. Quit with the plan. Right. Give me a heart and thumbs up and share the show, right? Because y'all know I'm about to make a point, child. Miss Vibrations got to get lubricated because she is about to go down. And no, I'm not talking about in the DMs. But no, right? So you cannot say that you believe that God will give you the desires of your heart, right? And that you can be anything that you want to be. You can do anything that you put your mind to. But in the next breath say, oh, well, this is not exactly what I want, but it's okay and it's good enough. Why is that good enough when you were already promised to get everything that you want, right? You are already promised to have, everything that you need, but you are willing to settle for the little bit that somebody is willing to give you. It's like people will spoon feed you goodness, right? People will spoon feed you goodness, and then, we're taught that if we stay in a relationship and go through hell and high water in this relationship, then that equates to you being good enough for the man to marry. You know what I mean? That's good enough for you to finally get that ring. So I have to go through hell and get drugged through the mud, sometimes even for you to say, okay, now you'll be with me for the rest of your life. Even a lot of us, hey man, even a lot of us will, we all are in different phases in our lives, right? But I just want you guys to see where we just settle for just good enough all the time, right? Give me a heart and thumbs up, y'all. So I see that you guys are here with me, because y'all know how it is when you meet somebody and you really like them, and he or she may say they're not ready for a commitment, and you want a relationship, but it's them, so you okay with it. So you like, shoot, he don't want a commitment, she don't want a commitment. Right now, he just keeps saying not right now, so I'ma just go against what I want for me, because I like him, we hang out, we have a good time, the sex is good, he spent a couple of dollars on me, I done been here and there, and this is okay. But you know that you want a relationship. You know that you want more. So we go against ourselves and what we want. And because we are constantly in our own worst enemies, and we do a lot of self-sabotaging and not striving for excellence within it, that we just accept anything. So why not? Wouldn't it be easier just to say, okay, well, I like you, you're fine, you don't want a relationship right now, I want a relationship, spin the bin if I'm still available. We don't do that. We would rather say, okay, I'm different, I'm going to be able to change his or her mind, and then go through all of these things and trials and tribulations as if you were in a relationship, and you aren't even in a relationship. You're fighting to continue to be somebody's something to do with no plan. And I tell you that all the time. Like, Joe had put it in a group. It was something where the guy was talking to some women. He was saying something about, women just demanding too much from men, women not knowing how to be submissive, all that stuff they be talking about. But a man I said it too in a comment, a man with a plan is a man for me. Because I would hate to believe that a man would want to be with a woman that doesn't have her stuff together, as far as even if it's just not knowing where she wants to go in life, knowing what she wants to do, not having any goals, not doing anything to accomplish them. If she's not a great mother, how does she run her household? How is she financially? Like, I would hate that a man with some money would get with this woman and then complain about how she's just spending and not adding any value to the household. But you want to be with her because she's cute and her sex is good and she can cook a little bit. Like, I don't understand that. And then you have women where we'll go, and just because he makes you smile and he can whisper sweet nothings in your ear and make you feel good, that you're okay with, you were struggling before you got with him. Now you with him and you're struggling. You know what I mean? You got help and you still struggling. So, I mean, why is somebody there? We are always placed in situations where we get to see that you are everything without having to have another person. You had bills and responsibilities before another person came along, right? So if the other person coming along cannot even meet you where you are, then why do we always be like, it's okay because I know it's going to get better? When you can go and meet somebody that's already better, that's already in the noun. And if you say, oh, well, that's not true, or maybe in a perfect world, but that's not true at all either, because you know that you exist. So if you have a good head on your shoulders, if you're a man that's about your business, if you're a man that takes care of your children, if you're a woman that handles her responsibility, if you have self-discipline, you don't easily stray from relationships, shit, half of y'all go to counseling and relationship therapy with people that don't even got a ring on your finger. So if you know that you are able to do all these things out here, without going through hell and high water, you know what I mean? What is it that makes us feel that we have to just accept the little that somebody is given, or feel like more and better isn't out there, when you know that more and better is out there because you are firsthand that the more and the better exists already? Keeping up? That makes sense? Is y'all here? Is you with me? Is you feeling what I'm saying? Daryl said, if you receive good without being in that position to reciprocate good, you end up spoiling that good. What you mean by you end up spoiling that good? What you mean? Are you saying like, if something good comes along, you won't be able to recognize it, you'll self-sabotage it? Is that what you mean, Daryl? If you're still here. Because, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things in a lot of situations, it's like, check your character at the door. A lot of times we don't check our characters at the door. You have to stop, take that time, sit back, reflect, and look at you and say, what is it that I want? Where am I going? And where am I headed? Because, a lot of people say, oh, well, women don't know how to let a man lead. But I'm telling you, like, don't nobody want to let nobody lead them that's leading them where you leading us to. You know what I mean? You don't make the best decisions. You aren't, going above and beyond. Sometimes we become complacent. And when we become complacent, it's a level of comfortability. You know what I mean? We get so stuck in the familiar. You know what I mean? And we have to learn, and you have to dig within inside of you to know that you deserve better than average, because you are better than average. You are better than average. You don't have to be anything less than what it is that you already are. When you strive for excellence, and when you are working on yourself, when you are working on having more integrity, having better discipline, you have some goals and you're working to obtain them. You know what I mean? There is no reason why you should be even accepting anything that is less than what you are. But sometimes, because, we're growing, right? We're growing and we're learning, and we don't have it all figured out. You will meet broken pieces of yourself. Like, that's what it is anyway. Like, life is one big classroom. Everybody comes along to teach you something. Everybody is a character in your life. We talked about that last week. Everybody is a character and play a role. And people are only in it as long as you allow them to be in it. So this is why you have to know, if you want better, you have to be better. And when you become better, you will attract better. You will get better. Better will have no choice to come, because that is what you are sending out into the world anyway. What do you say? Daryl said, could be sabotage, could be not adequately approaching, could not be properly matching what is being given. Right. And if you're not matching what's being given, right, then remove it. Why stay in an average situation? You know what I'm saying? But that's because I don't think a lot of us have seen successful relationships. A lot of us haven't seen successful marriages, successful relationships, people who are successful. But the one thing I will say that I think is very, very good about social media, where we do know that social media can be smoke and mirrors, right? And we do know people do put the things that they want you to see, right? But outside of that, let's look at the little small group that has blossomed through social media, that to have blossomed through social media. You might not know what it looks like off of social media, but you know that it's blossomed through, that their life has blossomed through social media. And when I say that, you have like the BB Judy, you have Super. Y'all probably know some. Throw some other ones out there. Um, who else? Super, BB Judy. Freaking, I'm seeing Renew You body butter. You know what I mean? We have evidence. Tokyo. We have evidence of people. Look at Cardi B. You know what I mean? We have evidence that some people started from nothing. And the one thing that is good with social media will allow some people, those who choose to reveal it, take you with them through life, and you get to see where they have came and they have been excellent. You know what I mean? They have risen from the whole mediocrity of everything, and now they are where they want to be. You know what I'm saying? I think Super took you through all her relationships. Like, you got to see her relationships on there. Now she has one and she's happy for however long that's going to be happy. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, you have examples. Look at Jess. Jess is from here. You know, she used to do her skits in her car, at her desk. Like, and now she has evolved. So we definitely have examples, and we see people that have went from nothing become something. But that same greatness is inside of you as well. That same above average exists. Now, if you get there and you choose to deal with stuff that's less than you, then that is solely on you. But you do not have to continue to accept. If you've only been given peanuts and water, you don't have to keep accepting peanuts and water. Hey, Shanice. She said, damn it, I'm late. Yeah, you don't have to accept that. So, we're just talking about, why you need to no longer accept average, remove average, and always strive for the best. Another thing is, like, how is it that some people you don't want more and you don't want better out of life in the things that you put in your life or in your relationships? But you'll go here and you'll buy all the labels in the world. So you want your appearances and your material things to be better. So you believe you can get those things because you go out and get them. So if you believe you can get those things because you go out and get them, what makes you think that you can't go and meet a person that'll already be equipped together for you too? So, when they're giving this lady, like I said, they looking at everything she's saying, and they missing. They're listening to what she's saying, but they aren't hearing anything that she said, because she said that. I seen some of the comments where somebody was like, "Oh, bus drivers make good money." Da, da, da. She didn't say that there was anything wrong with a bus driver. She didn't say that there was anything wrong with driving the bus. When she was asked, okay, would she herself be with a bus driver if he treated her good, X, Y, and Z? She said no, if he owned the bus. And then she said her reason is because she is tired of, she said it, black men, black people feeling like they have to settle for average and good enough. Because that same bus driver could very well end up owning the bus or owning something. But you can't get offended about what people want for themselves, because some people have seen better. You know what I mean? Like, even for me, I used to just settle and accept stuff. Oh, I think we all have at one point or another. Just going through the growing pains of life, learning, making decisions, all those things like that. And I had somebody in my life that they didn't settle and accept anything. So I was able to see that, and then as I grew and became to be more in tune with myself and know that, you don't need people and things to validate you. Society is out here telling you what you should do, what you should be, but half of society doesn't even know who they are. And the ones that do know who they are, they're either deeming them crazy, stubborn, arrogant, stuck up, thinking that they're better than. Well, you should think that you're thinking and knowing that you're better than, and acting like it and being a complete douchebag are two separate things. Like, you are supposed to walk and wake up and know that you are the sugar honey iced tea. You are supposed to know that you are the sugar honey iced tea. You are supposed to, like, I can get anything, anybody that I want. You're supposed to have that confidence in yourself because you were made that way. You know, that's even in the Bible. Like, you can get everything and have everything that you want. It's written, right? But because of society and experiences in life that you're choosing with some of the poor decisions, and because we don't have good examples, make you feel like you can't. No. That is not true at all. She said, or as we used to say as kids, all that in a bag of chips. Yes. All that in a bag of chips with a couple big bursts on the side, okay? You know what I mean? Because and I say that, and I just want somebody to know, like, if you aren't feeling your best, if you don't feel like you're good enough, if you don't feel like, you know, you are where you want to be, come on, like, get up, wake up, pay attention, and know that you are the sugar honey iced tea. I'm telling you, you are all that in a bag of chips. And you don't gotta be a size 3. You don't gotta have the most fit body as a man, as a woman. You ain't gotta have all this surgery and stuff to make you feel better. But if that adds to your confidence, cool. You understand? Whatever it is that adds to you to make you happy, you know that. You know you got somebody and he out here or she out here messing around on you and they telling you that it's your fault. No, it's not. It got everything to do with them. It got every single thing to do with them. Everything to do with them. You are all that, and you deserve nothing but the best. But in order to know that you deserve nothing but the best, are you treating you the best? Like, how do you treat you? How do you treat you? And that even goes to your thoughts. What do you think? How are you feeling? How much positive talk do you have with yourself? Are you productive? What are you putting out into the world for it to come back to you 10 times over? How are you living? You know, like I said earlier, check your character at the door. What does your character say about you? And most importantly, if you were to leave here today or tomorrow, how would you be remembered? Like, how would you be remembered? Bitter, angry, upset, the complainer, you know, going through the same stuff with Day every day. Lisa keep putting you out. You understand? How would you be remembered? Oh, even in the midst of a storm, you always had something positive to say. Even when all hell is breaking loose, you still keep on going. You know, even if you're dreaming and you feel like your dream isn't moving the way you wanted to move, but you still are dreaming. Like, how are you going to be remembered? What are going to be the things that people are going to be able to say about you? Like, what are people going to be able to say about you when you're no longer here? And that's all that matters. And this is why I tell you, you know, you have to know who you are and live life for you. And the other thing I was thinking about too is like, and it sucks sometimes. I know it sucks, you know, but we even live in a world where women will birth children, right? We will birth children, raise them, say that we love them. And the minute that they get or decide to be with the same sex, we ban them and throw them out and isolate them. Whew. Even just repeating that hurts my feelings. I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't gonna cry, but I just need you guys to like hear what's being said. You have people. I've had these conversations with people, and even some men is like, "Oh, I don't care. They can't come around me." And it's like, this is your kid. This is not an alien. This is not a stranger. This is somebody you raised. And they are doing something with their life that makes them happy that you don't agree with, that you shame them. You know, some people don't even speak or bring up their children because they're part of the LGBTQ community. And I think that that's really, really jacked up. I think that's really jacked up. But the reason why I believe it's jacked up and why I feel like people do that is because some of those people that are placed in those positions care about what other people are going to have to say. They care about how the family is going to look at them. They care about, and they make that measure them as a parent. Well, guess what? Just because your child want to go in and she want to be with Brittany and she happy with Brittany, that don't have nothing to do with your parenting. Because guess what? You weren't with Brittany. You was with Dwayne and you was a miserable somebody. Okay? Just because you with the opposite sex, what does that mean? And these are the things that, I miss, my life coach, we used to talk about all the time. And it's just the simple fact of, at the end of the day, God knows your heart and can't nobody tell you where you're going or what's going on with you. You know what I mean? I believe in one thing, you may believe in another, but I know he loves us all because he made us all, regardless of what it is that we're doing. Period. That's just how I feel about it. Can't nobody make me feel any different from that. But the fact that we can raise kids and then shame and shun them because they aren't doing what you want them to do, it's crazy to me. It is crazy to me. Like the world and the streets and the outside already doesn't love them or accept them. And they're not even able to be accepted at home. But it is a new day, baby, because look up. The world is changing. So I just be saying, if you still feel a way about the LGBT community, you might as well go sit in the corner because the world is not worrying about it. Because they be having some good credit. They is owning stuff out here. They just doing all kinds of stuff. But ultimately, you got to let people live their life. What is what somebody else doing for them and in their life? How does that really affect you? And I think we really need to look at that. What is it that'll make you feel like what your child is choosing to do? How does that affect you? Who they choose to be with? Who do they choose to be with? And then before you complain about who they're with, I challenge you to ask yourself, what's your relationship record look like? Did you ask them if they approved of anybody you were with? Oh, no, because they were a child and it didn't matter. So these are some of the double standards and things like that contribute to the lack thereof or not feeling good enough, of people not being good enough or thinking that they can do better. Before the outside rejects you, your own home rejects you first. And that is jacked up. So this is why you have to rise above all of that, know who you are, learn about who you are. The world is bigger than Baltimore. The world is bigger than where you may be at, New York, Atlanta, Texas, Germany. The world is so much bigger than that. It's so many different things to explore, so many different foods to eat. And sometimes I know that it is extremely hard because of the situation and circumstances that you can be placed in. You can't see the forest through the trees sometimes. But you have to know and strive for yourself to know it is more out there than drama and chaos and struggle. And sometimes you're just contributing to your piss poor decision making when it comes to struggle. You already know you couldn't take care of the first baby, so you went out and had 2, 3, 4, 5 more. Some of y'all are contributing to your own situations. You know what I mean? You already know what this decision is going to lead to and how this is, but you keep going back dealing with the girl and she called the police on you every other day. You know what I mean? We ignore it all the time, and then we'll say, well, it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault. No, it's the choice that you are making. You know what I mean? If you already know that you are trying to overcome something, stop adding to your struggle. And if you don't know how to stop adding, ask for some help. Do some research. Look for something. Look for resources. And I get it sometimes, even with, when they talk about the system, I don't know what the world would do if like the whole like government assistance system like shut down, because so many people like rely on it, especially with like COVID and stuff like that. But I'm talking about like before COVID. I don't understand why sometimes people don't use that as a stepping stone. This is why I keep saying I'm going to run for president. I'm here at work all the time telling them I got to run for president, because I feel like that assistance should be for the working class. I'm sorry, I do. Because you do have people that are working with 9-to-5s that are trying, that are barely making it now. You know what I mean? That are barely making, and sometimes just need a little bit of push. And all because your income look good on paper, they don't want to give you nothing. But you got to have nothing and they'll give you everything. The system just makes no sense to me. And this is why I'm running for candidacy in 2026. Because some changes have to be made around here. Stop, just because you're in the system or you're on the system doesn't mean that you have to stay there. If you know your rent is $120, act like it is $1,000 and put up some money to the side. Like, save it. Don't just keep spending. You know what I mean? So it's just like there's always a way out of a situation, but we have to stop. We have to stop making excuses, and we have to stop blaming everyone else. And stop letting people tell you that you cannot get better than what you have. Yes, you can. Especially if you know that you are better. Especially if you know that you are a good person. You can definitely find a good person. You don't have to just settle for a half or a piece of a person. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. And a lot of times when people feel like, oh, well, you got to do that because nobody's perfect, it's because they ain't seen nothing. I even said this during the first stop at the book tour. When you let somebody talk long enough, they will tell you who they are. They will tell you who they are. They will tell you who they are. Because sometimes people feel that way because they witnessed some foolishness as they were growing up. Because don't nobody really want to just, stay and be in situations where somebody is just treating them like they don't matter. Who would voluntarily stay in something like that? And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that voluntarily stay in it, but I'm talking about when you know. See, when you know more and when you become more aware, you can't unknow what you know. Me and my friend were talking before I get out of here. Give me a thumbs up if you're still here. Me and my friend was just talking about this, and I was telling her the other night, I was like, oh my God, do you know how many times I wish I didn't know some things? And she was talking to me, we was laughing. I was like, do you know how bad I wish I didn't know some things? Because when you unlearn and you know things, you cannot go back to not knowing. Like, oh my God, that is when, you are held responsible. You are responsible for what you know. You can't be held accountable for what you don't know. But once you know, and you gotta, you can't unknow. And if there's a lot of things going on, there's a lot of things being said about you. Sometimes you have to check the source of the sender that is saying those things. And then sometimes if it's numerous things with numerous people from different backgrounds and people don't know each other, sometimes you got to sit still long enough and say, well, this must be true about me to some degree. Because everybody can't be saying the same thing. Everybody can't be saying the same thing. And I'm just like, it's not me. So you just have some people who they just comfortable being below average and being a complainer. So that's what my thoughts were tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. The anniversary ticket, this is going to be the last anniversary, so I am going to run a Mother's Day sale, and the Mother's Day sale has started today, and it will end midnight on Mother's Day, where you can get the tickets. Okay, I lowered the price on the tickets for now. And then that's it. That's all. Then July 15th, I'm going to be there. July 15th, I'm going to be there. So you can go on the website, purchase your anniversary ticket right now while they're on sale. I'm running a Mother's Day special. You can also go get a copy of your book on the website. Thank you guys for who've been being so patient with the deliveries, with the mail, all of that. Thank you guys. Thank you for everybody who's shared the show and just been here. Hey, Ronnie Child. That's just been here throughout this whole journey. Shout out to Slick Clothing for providing my t-shirt tonight. Y'all know I love me a good t-shirt. And all those things. So just be great. You do not have to settle You weren't made to be average, so don't accept average. And I will see you guys next week. Peace.